Hi, Nancy. It's Lydia.
Hi, Lydia. How are you?
I'm just fine. How about you?
Good, thanks.
Good. So thanks for being here today.
Oh, my pleasure.
And I know tonight, or maybe is it tonight, the Board of Selectmen Select Board meeting, or it's
No, I think it's next week. I'm not sure, but I think it was more like the 12th.
oh, okay. So I jumped the gun a little bit, but that's okay. I'm glad that you're joining us. Really glad.
No, it's a really nice way to get to meet some of you.
Mhm. Sure. So Tom Sigia is joining us next. He's with the Shellfish Advisory Board.
Oh, okay.
And he, we'll be talking more about the grant that we've submitted to the Mass Department of Environmental Protection. But there's Tom. Tom, this is Nancy. Hi, good morning. Nancy is soon to be a member of the recycling committee.
Hi, Nancy.
Hello. Hi, Tom.
And there's welcome, Chris.
Hi.
We need 4 to have a quorum. I expect it's just 11 o'clock now, so hopefully we'll get some more folks.
So I may have to scoot out at some point.
Sure.
I have a client I've been trying to reach for about 3 weeks, and he may call me today. And if he calls, I
Okay.
really need to pick it up.
Hi, Christine.
Hi there.
You know, what we might do, and there's Beth also. Welcome, Beth. Since Chris may have to leave early, maybe we'll go to the social media post kind of up higher in the agenda.
Okay.
So we have a quorum now with Beth, Lydia, Chris, and Christine. And here's Jane. Hi, Jane. Welcome. And Mike Sakali is coming too. That's great.
Good.
And
You're muted, Jane, so we can't hear you.
Start video.
there you are.
There I am.
And we can even
Hey,
see you.
there you
Yay.
Oh, and here's Jaya. So wow, I think that's everybody. So Jaya, you're muted too. I don't know if you can hit the space bar to unmute yourself or hit the little red microphone. There you go.
I'm here. I'm having. I'm setting up. I'm with you. So
Well, welcome everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy
And
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Here.
yeah, 2021 at last, huh? And we have with Mike Sakale and Chris probably having to leave a bit early. Maybe we'll go quickly to Mike. I did want to also say that Nancy, is it Najmi?
Yes.
She's
Welcome,
joining us
Nancy.
today.
Oh, thank you.
And Nancy has submitted her application to join the recycling committee. Yay! So she'll be on the next select board agenda. I think was it the 11th, Nancy?
11th or 12th. I'll have
Yeah,
to
somewhere in there.
look into it. Yeah.
That's fabulous. And that means we have 7, full complement, full
Yay.
board. And we do have positions for 2 alternates if there are people out there who would like to join us, additional people. So let's go right to Mike and the transfer station update.
Thank you, Lydia. Good morning, everybody.
morning.
Just a short update here. The main thing is we're going to be going back to dual stream recycling on Saturday, January 15th. So we'll start separating again, pretty much back to everything. The recycling will go back to the way it was before COVID. I've got some social distance signs and things like that. I think we'll be okay with that. Good news on recycling is I didn't see a lot of gift wrap in the recycling this year. I had to sign up for a while and it seems work. So thank you everybody for that. It's certainly helpful. And I'm still working on your information signs. That was a great idea you guys had to put up signs about what happens to this stuff, just some short little blurbs. So I am going to work on that when I get a chance and get those up for you.
Great.
And that, just looking forward to the new year.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Can you send us pictures of the signs, Mike? So maybe we can highlight them to people.
Definitely, yeah. Once I'll get a mock-up of one made and I'll send you guys a picture. I just, gotta go over there and get it done.
Wonderful. Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you. Thank you.
I guess pretty soon there'll be Christmas trees. Will be lots of Christmas trees and things will be showing up in the brush pile.
Yeah, the day after Christmas, we already started seeing them come up, so.
Yeah. Great. Great. Well, any other questions for Mike or? All right. Good. Well, Mike, please stay as long as you'd like. Yeah.
I am gonna jump off actually, just because I need to get a bunch of stuff done today, but it's nice seeing you all, and
Right.
Yeah.
Chris for putting the word out on the social media about the stuff that we're, so happy New Year, everyone.
Say hi to everyone at the,
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Mike.
Tom Sigia of the Shellfish Advisory Board is also joining us, just
Hi,
as we
everyone.
go to our introductions. So now, Chris, would you like to talk about the social media part? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, I've put up a number of posts to Instagram and Facebook since our last meeting. I did one. Lydia, I took some of the things from your poster and kind of broke them into individual posts. So I
Okay.
did one on the Christmas lights, one on wrapping paper and kind of alternatives to regular wrapping paper and not recycling wrapping paper, recycling electronics, old Christmas trees, and I just posted about the return to dual stream. So
Great.
our numbers keep going up. We're close to 250 people on Instagram, so that's good. Yeah, and I've noticed that more things that I post to the Wellfleet community Facebook page are getting shared by other people, which is nice. So that's good.
So do you, so how do you do that? You're a member of that, and then you, how do you share it with?
Other people share it. So I post it and other people can share it.
I see.
And sometimes I can see where they're sharing it. Sometimes I don't see. It depends on the other person's privacy settings. But I have noticed that occasionally it's been outside of Wellfleet, which is kind of nice that
That's
it's sort of spreading to other places.
A friend of mine who's on another town committee said that she was doing Instagram posts and then she joined, or whatever you do with Instagram, a lot of other, I think it was Meryl. She joined a lot of other historical committees in Massachusetts, and then they joined her, and so that really put her numbers up.
Right. Yeah. And I've been doing that on a
That's
regular
probably
basis.
a
Yeah.
known
Yeah.
strategy, which I know nothing about. Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
And what is it? Wellfleet Recycles on Instagram?
I believe that's what we are.
Maybe we can do a
Yeah,
screen share.
Wellfleet Recycles. Yeah. Yeah. So go look at it, like them.
Okay. I do when I get on Instagram, which is like once every 3 months, but I always enjoy seeing what you've done.
Do you have to be a member to use Instagram? I don't Facebook or do any of that stuff. I just don't want to. But is Instagram open to anyone?
You have to join, but you don't have to do anything. I know a lot of people who use Instagram and they just have an account so that they can look at other people's things. But don't
Does
post
it have a
anything.
better reputation than Facebook as being a good business?
It's
Business.
different. I'm actually still learning a lot
Aren't they
about
connected?
Instagram.
Aren't they connected?
Yes, they are connected. And actually, when I post things to Instagram, it automatically goes to the Facebook account. I've set up a link between them. but it seems, I'm learning about Instagram myself, but it
Okay.
seems like there's less kind of misinformation and bickering and back and forth, because you're just sort of
Okay.
posting something and, there's, there's,
Here's the,
Yeah.
what it looks
Oh, awesome.
yeah. So it seems like for something like this, it's a good use.
Okay, thank you.
There is
Thank-
there is a lot of stuff on Instagram that just pops up unannounced though, isn't there? A lot of advertising.
There is, but it kind of is based on what your interests are. So it seems like all of mine are for, like Echo products, which is kind of nice.
Oh,
Oh,
I
I
just-
see.
I
Okay.
just found a good dental floss that way. So
I just found a good one too. I've been looking forever for one without
I've been
PFAS in it.
we should compare.
We can do a whole thing on dental floss first.
yeah.
And tea bags without microplastics.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think there, with the new dual stream at the transfer station, that's a lot of people will be wondering about that. And
Right.
I think they'll probably have that LED sign up as well to one
Mhm.
that the head for wrapping paper, et cetera.
Right. Right.
And
So if there's anything else that anyone can think of, that would be a good post. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep.
Keep doing what you do.
yeah, sounds great.
Thanks.
Thanks, Chris.
By the way, Chris, for Jaya, you can, without a Facebook account, can you look at somebody, can she look at what they're doing?
Good
What-
You
question.
have to sign in. I just tried, I think.
Uh,
I just
think,
tried to look at one of the pictures and it said to sign in.
yeah, I think you have to sign in, but again, you don't have to do anything. You can just have an account so you can look at other things. Yeah.
Okay, thank you all for the education. Really?
Okay,
Is
super.
is all this information on the town's website too? Because I also don't do Facebook and I'll go onto websites to look up, you
Ah,
know. And I think the electronic light recycling was on the website, but nothing about Christmas trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure who, are you talking about the town website or the recycling website?
Well, the town website with the link to the transfer station.
Right,
with
I'm
the-
not sure,
the
I'm
sign
not sure. Yeah, they
recycling.
post, yeah, they post some of the things there, but, I don't think they update it quite as frequently.
Okay,
And that's, Mike takes care of that, the recycling page.
okay.
And also that reminds me that Historical Commission, Merrill and Lydia, of course, her co-chairs, have asked before Courtney left to put a link to their Instagram and maybe Facebook or maybe just Instagram on the information on the town website about their commission. So I was going to do that too, but then Courtney left. So I don't know if anyone else is, but that's a to-do item is to get a link to that.
Mhm.
And maybe from our Wellfleet Recycles webpage too.
Right, yeah.
I think Mia Baumgarten might be the contact now for such things. I'm not entirely sure, but
Okay.
Rebecca Eldridge, who's taking over from Courtney temporarily,
Mhm.
gave her number as the person to contact for Zoom questions. And so I think she might be the one for that.
For the website, okay.
Mhm. That would be a good thing. And yeah, all right. So shall we go on to number 2, commercial water bottle ban, plan outreach?
Well, do we want to cover anything that Tom is listening in for?
Oh, sure. Tom, do you want to go with the Shellfish Advisory Board grant?
Yeah, if you like.
Yeah, that way you don't have to, I mean, you can, welcome to stay throughout the meeting, but.
That's nice. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tom Sigia. I'm on the Shellfish Advisory Board. That's why I'm really here. Beginning of the year, I don't know if you remember, beginning of the year, we brought on 2 interns to really take a look at plastics in the harbor and what were they doing to the not only the harbor, the water, but what were they doing to the oysters and clams, if anything? And these two interns came up with a nice little study, and they basically focused on a lot of all the products that we're using out in the grants by the shell fishermen, but the ones we focused on were the single-use zip ties. They seem to be the ones that are single-use, seem to be always in the harbor. They you know what a zip tie is, you zip it, closes the bag, and then to open up the bag, you cut it, and at times you lose it into the water, mud, and it stays there forever until it disintegrates, if it does that at all. Anyway, I don't know if Lydia, Christine, it was maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I came on this call and I met this young lady, Kara Parcell, who you guys had as a guest from Barnstable County. I was pretty impressed with the things she was talking about. So I reached out to her and I found out that there was a available grant for $5,000 for bungee cords, which could easily replace the zip ties. So we put our heads together, Christine, Lydia, and myself, and long story short, we put together a grant application at the end of December. And the grant application was, I don't know, 8-9 pages, Lydia. And we told the Barnstable County how we were going to approach this. We already did the study with the interns. Now it's hands-on actionable items that we're going to go do if we got the grant, meaning, we'll go pick 10 grant owners, leaders in the industry. So I'm asking the entire board, that's a makeup of probably 5 to 6 commercial individuals. And they will be part of this study that'll go on all of 2021. And hopefully with free bungee cords in today's market, because it's been tough for the guys and gals selling oysters to restaurants. Most of them are closed. So this is kind of an incentive to start using bungee cords in place of the zip ties. And hopefully we get some positive feedback. And then as time goes on, our goal is to replace these single-use zip ties with bungee cords. And that's basically what we've been doing. I saw Carrie's note today, Lydia, to you, that said they got our application and hopefully we hear something in 2 weeks. And this is just the beginning. If we can get the zip ties as a key item and get the mentality to change to using something other than plastics, then I think that's a good first step. And we have so much plastics that we're using in this shellfishing community that we believe after COVID, we think a lot of these vendors who have started working on possible plastic solutions and rack solutions, that they'll come up with some good ideas that will basically change the whole shellfishing community in the space that we have product that we're using. So we're kind of excited. I present it tomorrow to the board. Short and sweet. I send them the presentation, so hopefully they got a good grasp of it. And I know you guys are probably filling out annual reports. It made our annual report, the Shellfish Advisory Annual Report that goes to the selectmen and the town administrator. So hopefully you guys do the same thing, and then they keep on reading. Hey, these guys are really addressing the plastics in the harbor. And we did a little talk about we spent so much money we will spend a lot of money on dredging the harbor. And I think this is a positive first step, that we're doing something positive and not continuing to dump plastics in the harbor where we clean it up 10 years from now again. So anyway,
Yeah.
any
well said.
questions or thoughts?
Good. All good.
Yeah, it's all good. But I wouldn't be able to do this without Lydia and Christine. I mean, these guys did a hell of a job putting this if you ever deal with government grants, it's amazing how they seem to ask the same question over and over again, and you got to answer it. It was a lot of hard work and a lot of time spent with the three of us, so it's pretty positive.
Lydia was the key person who, when Tom called, was it the Monday before the end of the year? She
Yeah.
called and said, "Can you get this grant in by the end of the year?" I would have said no, but Lydia said yes, and she got it done. So.
Yeah, it was the Monday before Christmas, right?
Yeah,
Right, that's right, yeah.
but you know what really helped us was that report from Ross and Zeno. That was
Oh, yeah.
because we used that and we were able to use their findings in the application. That made a huge difference.
Yeah.
Lydia, did you send the maybe the interns report and the PDF? You have a nice PDF of the grant application sent out to the committee. Maybe you
I
did.
did. I sent that this morning before the meeting.
Oh, great. Okay.
Has any of this been covered in the Provincetown Independent? Do we know?
Not yet, but let's
No.
we'll wait to hear if
Do
we
they,
get.
Tom, do you invite anybody from there to come to your meetings?
Yeah, it's open. It's an open meeting. So we you mean to invite anybody from the Independent?
Yes, just so that it gets written up in there.
No, we haven't, but I do know Teresa.
Yeah,
we
good.
we work at 246 Kitchen together,
Yes, okay.
and I can easily pick up the phone and call her and say, hey, here's what we're doing. That's part of our game plan also. Once we get through the first couple of steps, like we've identified the individuals that are going to do this, and we got the grant, we posted signs, all that good stuff. Then I think it's time to go talk to her and do a nice little spiel with
Yeah.
both committees.
Good.
And I think she would do a positive take on it. I know she would.
If we get it, it's part of the grant that will do a lot of publicity.
Yeah.
It's a good idea, yeah, to get the word out. So
Yeah, I
thanks
think
so
we-
much, Tom.
Lydia sent an email with all the information to the town administrator and committee members, and so they'll all be informed that it's in the works.
And the
Yeah, it
report has lots of photographs in it too, so it's really great. It's very informative and easy to read.
Thank you, thank you,
Sure, you're welcome.
thank you.
And thank you, Tom and Christine, for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
And
Yeah.
Lonnie, Lonnie Briggs, our former member, she was integral in getting the Five Gyres here, the scientists from the Five Gyres in 2016. And there was a visit to some of the grants out in the harbor where we, saw that a lot of the zip ties just littering the grant,
In all this dredging stuff, does anybody analyze what they're dredging up? Or is it just picked up, dumped somewhere out in the ocean? Again,
That's a really good question. I think that came up, Tom. Are they capturing some of that plastic that they're undoubtedly picking up,
Yeah, I think
can't imagine it
think-
goes back in the water.
Yeah, I think it's hard to say, but I can ask that question to Nancy Wednesday
interesting.
night.
Yeah,
I bet you they're picking up, a lot of stuff. I know they're picking up their old racks that disappeared when the ice came in
Right.
a few years
Yeah.
back. They got moved
Right.
all over the place. So I bet you there's some pretty good stuff there that they're capturing. I know they did a study, and I'll end with this. They did a study that Nancy reviewed, that the inner harbor where the boats are across from the Pearl,
Yeah.
they put some devices in there, and they basically said it's deader than a doornail. There wasn't anything in 10 feet of stuff. There wasn't any clams that were alive. There wasn't any oysters that were alive. There wasn't any fish or microorganisms, nothing. It was just dead. So I can imagine what was down there in our harbor.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I live on Duck Creek. We get a lot of fish coming up here, being chased up here. So the whole
That's good.
the whole creek's not dead.
No. I think it's a part where
Just
they'll
that
be.
little bit where it's closed off there.
Yeah, the one that's definitely the place that's closed off.
Hmm, yeah.
Super. All right. So we'll stay tuned, and that Shellfish Advisory Board meeting's tomorrow at 6 p.m.
I think it's 6:30.
6:30, in case anyone wants to listen in. You can go to the town website and click on the calendar day and find the meeting. So fingers crossed, and I think first we expected to hear in a few months whether we were going to get it, but it looks like that's been accelerated and we might know, within a few weeks. So that's pretty good. That helps our timeline. So thank you, Tom, and we'll see you soon. Or, again.
Okay, thanks. Take care.
Sure, you too. Bye.
Right.
Good work.
Bye-bye.
And so now I think we're going to go to number 2, the commercial water bottle ban, and plan outreach midwinter. On the agenda, I've noted that it has passed in 8 towns: Provincetown, Wellfleet, Eastham, Orleans, Brewster, Harwich, Mashpee, and Falmouth, and was postponed to spring 2021 in 3 towns: Dennis, Yarmouth, and Sandwich. So there's probably a coordinated effort in terms of this midwinter outreach from the sustainable practices. Christine, do you have some notes?
I haven't seen anything on outreach, but I do know that, just because I get all the emails on this effort, and I don't remember his name, but I'll find out who the guy in Eastham is, that he said he'd already been doing outreach in the business community. So I could start by finding his name and see if we can kind of work together. And maybe reach out to, I don't know, does Orleans have a recycling committee? I'm not sure,
I don't think they do.
but reach out to P-Town anyway and see if we can do some outreach together.
Mm-hmm. That sounds good. I think Orleans might have gone through, well, just community members that were, I don't think
Yeah.
recycling committee in particular, but maybe members of the Conservation Commission, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Do you remember the people that reached out to you, Lydia, about the plastic bag ban? They, in Orleans, and polystyrene, and they got those on the warrant and passed them?
Yeah, that I'd have to look through my emails.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can send those on.
Well, I can, yeah.
Or you can.
Start by seeing if they have a committee on their website. I haven't
Yeah.
looked.
There's also, I asked the town clerk, principal clerk in town of Wellfleet for a list of businesses, because that department licenses all the businesses in town. So she has a record of everyone's,
Yeah.
business name and contact information.
Yeah.
And so we should be able to get that pretty soon.
So are there people that are interested in working on that outreach? I mean, Chris, I know that you've developed relationships with some businesses with your straw, Save the Straw effort. And I don't know, you're muted, by the way.
I haven't been in touch with any of those businesses certainly since COVID and
Right.
probably,
Yeah.
6 months prior to that.
Mhm.
Maybe develop a one-pager that can be dropped off at businesses.
Mhm.
So the managers can, be informed and what's coming down the pike. The commercial ban goes into effect in September 1, 2021.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe
Right.
it's early, but maybe it's, when is midwinter? How long can we put this off?
Well, it's just, I think we have until, when is it? March is when spring starts, so we've got a
Right.
lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll reach out to Sustainable Practices and at least see what's stirring and some contacts in Outer Cape towns and
Mhm,
see what they're doing.
that sounds great.
If there's information that you would like to go into a one-page handout, I'd be happy to put it together in some nice looking way.
That'd be wonderful. Thank you, Chris.
Great. Okay, super. The next thing we have on the agenda is the annual town report that's due January 29th. That's the report that gets printed by the town. All the boards and committees do it. And it has, financial information. I think it has all kinds of information from the town meeting. And our annual town report is in draft form. It's due January 29th. And I have, Christine, do you have some updates on that, or should I just kind of go over what?
I haven't
big
looked at it yet. I'm going to look at it this afternoon. I had a bunch of other stuff to do yesterday.
Sure.
I'll take a look and make some notes on anything else I think should be in there.
Okay, I'll just read kind of the basics, and then if I've forgotten anything, maybe you could
That sounds good.
So there's the petitioned article. The major accomplishment was the petitioned article
Mhm.
and approval of the commercial plastic water bottle ban. Another highlight of 2020 was supporting the work of the Shellfish Advisory Board, Shellfish Constable, and the interns and the grant. Additional things about Fix-It Clinic and Boomerang Bags events. I don't know if we had any in 2020. Kind of can't remember at this point, but
I don't think we
I
did.
don't think so.
yeah.
Well, we weren't locked down until March.
Yeah,
Don't
let
we
me-
usually have the Fix-It Clinic in January?
Let me look, because on Instagram I would have posted that.
Oh,
Great.
great.
We had a boomerang, when was this? February 3rd. That's when I posted it. February 6th, we had
Great.
and
Great.
a Fix-It Clinic.
That January?
January 11th.
Wow. All right, super. So we'll add those into the
Yeah.
report. Thank you, Chris and Jane, for remembering. Community cutlery, Library of Things. We'll note that all the equipment that was lost in the fire was replaced.
Mhm.
We loaned to a zero waste wedding in Truro in 2020. The coast sweep beach cleanups, we didn't participate in those as were postponed.
Right.
Oyster Fest was virtual. So Christine got a huge break because she did so much work the year before in coordinating all the volunteers and
Silver lining.
making a plastic-free Oyster
Well,
Fest.
actually, I told them I wasn't going to do it again this year. so-
Well, and then Care for the Cape and Islands, the Take Care Cape Cod campaign. There was also Refill Wellfleet, which is really on hold. And we talk a little bit about Black Earth Compost and the possibility of commercial and residential compost pickup services through them.
Mhm.
And we thank Lonnie Briggs and Jed Foley for their service on the committee. And I think that's more or less it for the report. If you do think of anything else that we missed, please let us know.
We attended some, what would have been conferences virtually,
Zoom.
Zooms, yeah,
Right.
the Wastewise. And then, with the compost summits, that was the year before, wasn't it? 2019, the
There
compost.
was something more recently too about compost, though, that Black Earth Compost.
Yeah,
participated.
There was it was another one of the Care for the Cape and Islands compost summits, you're right.
Yeah, so we'll be
Yeah.
sure to list those for sure.
Okay.
All right, good. And so we don't have anyone from Energy and Climate Action today. The water bottle refill stations, that's, we'll see where that goes. There's still something we were committed to doing.
Yeah, has anybody been in the town hall or to see if they still have bags over the,
I can
No.
ask them for that.
yeah, okay. The sorry, health inspector, Hillary.
Hillary, Hillary.
Hillary is, so busy with other stuff that I've reached out before and, she was pretty overwhelmed, earlier last year. But at some point I'll touch base and see if we can get things rolling again in the spring to do those installations.
Mhm.
I hope the one that's been sitting in the marinas, the refill station has been sitting in their garage for a year and a half is going to function once they finally install it.
Sure, well,
And if they do this year, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
well, to be continued there.
Yeah.
We did cover the social media posts, community cutlery library of things that's they're in storage with the
Yeah,
library.
should we mention that the library is in the planning stages for a library of things and using community cutlery as a sort of the pilot project?
Mhm.
We could mention that in the report because
Okay,
we're meeting and discussing with them.
all right, add to report. Very good. Committee vacancies, we mentioned the two alternates. And with, yeah, so that's that. Minutes, I don't think we have the minutes from the last meeting unless you have them,
No,
Christine.
I just started working on them before the meeting. I went, oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's, holiday
I
time.
probably have
so-
to watch it again because I was also leading that meeting. It's kind of hard to take minutes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I'll
the
get that for the next
accounting,
meeting.
accounting report, that's also something where, well, it's probably unchanged. We haven't spent any money in a couple months.
Yeah, and it's such a complicated mess now with the accountant gone and Jane just trying to keep up with paying bills. The report that I got from Gene, the accountant before he left, was just for fiscal year 20. So we don't have any reports from fiscal year 21. Same position we were in last year.
Mhm.
But I did work out with him anyway, which accounts carried over to this year. When I emailed him at some point last year, he said that our money he thought it was budgetary, so we had lost it. I said, that was not budgetary, we raised that money.
Sure.
But I don't know if that got, I don't know. And I don't know if it's worth going and talking to Jane to try to sort of straighten things out and make sure she knows which accounts are ours, but
Hmm. Yeah, couldn't hurt. I
Yeah.
guess when you have the time,
yeah, I'll call and make an appointment with her.
And I know that at town meeting, that's when budget lines are approved for town departments. And I think we were under the,
Yeah, so we got the 500 from the transfer station budget as well as our 775. So that was our budget
well, that's not bad.
here.
And,
And then the carryovers of, yeah.
okay,
And
good.
we did spend the money that was going to expire, the $1,000 that we gave to the interns.
That's right. That was good. I'm glad we did that.
Yeah.
And next is correspondence. We do have a mailbox at Town Hall that haven't been there or heard if there's anything in there in a very long time.
Well, I remember a few months ago you asked and there was something there, or somebody looked and there wasn't anything there. Oh,
Well, we can ask
tricky when you
about
can't
it.
get in the building.
Yeah. And future agenda items, is there anything you'd like to see from the committee members? Jaya, Beth? Okay.
I have some bad news about microplastics that I would like to share.
Okay.
It was a BBC program. They've got this big climate change meeting in Glasgow, so they get all sorts of programs now. I didn't realize that when you do laundry in a machine, and you empty the machine, a lot of things in your laundry have a lot of synthetic stuff in them. And every batch of laundry, you're sort of shredding these fibers out of the garments. and they're accumulating somewhere. I'm not quite sure where they go and what, I'm trying to think of where does the laundry water go? It goes into your septic tank, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Do these Title V septics filter out things like that? I don't think so.
Got it.
I mean, the lesson from this story that I was reading is that we really have to tackle the plastics at the manufacturing stage, which of course I guess we knew anyway. That we're always dealing with the problem a little bit far down the chain, aren't we?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Jane, I heard that about fleece jackets and things.
Yeah.
But is it any polyester?
Well, I think it's any, a lot of things which say, oh, we'll probably have a little bit of synthetic stuff. And a lot of sportswear certainly has synthetics in it.
Right. So was
um,
it all synthetics that are, I mean, I
Well, as I say, you know how you half listen to things?
Mhm.
I'm not sure, I'd have to go back and try and find the piece, but it was just another sort of slightly alarming thing that's happening all the time that we're not paying attention to.
Right.
I mean, I think there's still a problem too of people being slack about waste just because of the COVID thing, all these masks and
Mhm.
things being tossed away.
Yeah.
And people were sort of excusing it, right? Because you were doing the right thing, wearing a mask. The fact that they got thrown away seemed less important somehow. I don't know, just.
Yeah, doing beach walks, I just sort of stopped doing it, but I think I just need to bring plastic gloves because there's just so much.
Yes, I found that too. Yes,
Yeah.
wherever you are. Yeah.
I went
Yeah.
for a walk at Duck Harbor and then over at the Audubon, and I was kind of pleasantly surprised that there wasn't a lot of plastic trash on the
Oh, that's
beach.
good. That's good.
Could have just been the
At that
time.
harbor, the tide comes in all the way up to the dune, so I don't think.
Yeah. There was stuff kind of embedded in the dune, the face of the dune.
Yeah.
Styrofoam, like little bits of it, and a little bit of plastic bag material, stretch plastic.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was, maybe it's the time of year. Well, I mean, that's probably.
I saw quite a bit on stranded turtle patrols,
Mhm.
but my mind was not on on plastic, on litter pickup.
Right.
And also it's the picking things up. You just feel like you shouldn't be doing that right now, but
Yeah.
Right.
There are, those grabbers that sometimes people use to pick up things, and or the.
Yes, all we old ladies have those grabbers.
Oh, they're
you
good.
got a house full, don't you, Jane? You told me. I have one on.
I do. Well, I tell you why I think they're important for old people, because you drop something quite trivial on the floor. It could be a tissue or something that just misses the wastebasket. But in my case, sometimes it's so irritating that you do tend to bend down and pick it up. And if you're not thinking what you're doing, for instance, my ex-husband just cracked 2 ribs because he bent down to water their Christmas tree and fell over getting up again.
Oh dear.
So what it means is that what the grabber does is you can pick things up without bending over.
Right.
And it's when you bend over without thinking what you're doing that you fall
Right.
over and crack your ribs or something.
Yeah.
But
Goodness.
yes, I do have, on almost every room I have a pair.
Mhm.
Well, they're not pairs, they're single things. But
Right. Well, they're great for picking up trash too.
yeah, they are. They are. They're actually better than the things they give you when you go take part in these community things. Those great long poles with
Yeah, with the steel.
my grabber is much easier.
Excuse me, I've got to go.
Okay, thanks,
Okay.
Chris. Take
Thank you
care.
for the call.
I want to put in a happy note that as far as the 2 beaches I often go to is Chipman's Cove and Indian Neck.
Mhm.
And I was just remarking to a friend how clean I have found them
Good.
the past few months, so at least, but I don't know how the water is swirling around.
Mhm.
Could be they're cleaner because of that, but anyway, I was
Right.
pleasantly surprised.
Good.
Good.
Yeah. Good. All right, well, we meet next on February 3rd, and then Nancy will be an official member, so we're thrilled about that. And,
And Trump will be out of the White House then, I hope.
Oh, God.
Is today the Georgia election?
it is.
So this is a day to,
Yeah. So February 3rd is our next meeting, and unless there's anything else you want to bring up, we could have a motion to adjourn at 11:43.
You said February 3rd, that's a Wednesday.
Oh, whoops, sorry, I made a mistake. Always do that.
It'll be the 7th.
The 7th, even better. You sure? Okay.
If that shows.
Are you sure you got the right year there, Diane?
It would be the, it wouldn't be the
Sure, it's
7th,
the
it would be
year,
the
too.
9th. It would be the 9th.
You guys do, yes. Ocean Wildlife Calendar.
Wait a
Very
second. It looks like it's the Tuesday, the 2nd, I'm afraid.
Oh, Tuesday's the 8th. Oh, I had to, wait a minute.
It is the
How
2nd.
many of us to figure this out?
Right. What day is it? Who knows?
Takes a
Who cares?
committee.
It's good
So
to
it's
continue
the
laughter, right?
Lydia, the 2nd?
It's the 2nd.
Okay. Alrighty, I will now make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, is there a second?
2nd.
Jane, all in
Okay.
favor? Everyone is saying yes.
Yeah, yes.
So good. Well, thanks so much, everybody.
Yeah, thank
Enjoy
you.
the month and
Take care.
you too.
Keep smiling, keep smiling.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.